Good morning from beautiful Brisbane, Australia. How are you this morning? And welcome to Complex PTSD TV. My name's Linda. I'm your certified trauma recovery coach. And today is day 4 of the Smile Challenge. And if you've been following the challenge all week, then you know it's been a challenging week as well. And I hope that you've availed yourself of the free infographics in the free library so that you can take your one next step on this journey as well, because it's the one next step that builds into creating a different space and place for yourself this time next year. Now, I didn't have time this morning to wake up or not wake up with or without a smile because I slept through my alarm, and once I realised, I just bounded out of bed and went, right, let's go, gym it is. And so I've had a bit of time to reflect on all things that have happened in the last 24 hours. And in some ways, there's been good things, and in other ways, there's been key things that I'm working through to create a greater space and to learn more as well. Now, this week, if you've been on the internet, you'll know that there's a focus on men's health. So I wanted to be able to share with you this morning 11 keys for men and their emotions, and here's why. Because in the world of men and mental health, and in the world of men and their emotions, I did a whole bunch of research this time last year. And even though I wrote to men who are in the public domain about men, helping men, no one wrote back to me, because I wanted to be able to give to our men some key points to help them going forward as well. And the reason why is, one, for the men, but also for us as women, because as we choose to learn and do our, recovery from intergenerational trauma, we also need to be able to learn new roadmaps for our brain in what our men need also. So this isn't just about men for men. This is about all of us, so that we can create new roadmaps of understanding about what men need also. The infographic will be up in the free library straight after this. I didn't have a chance to put it in because I was busy typing away, but it will be there for you. Remember to hit like, subscribe and share, because we do this work for the millions, the billions around the world who still have not had a chance to have a voice, who still live in families where they are shamed for speaking up and wanting to change the patterns, and so much more. Mental health's got a long way to go before people can talk about it openly. You just have to look at the testimonials on my client page to see how many people are still not safe to speak up and say, this is happening for me. This is what I'm doing. This is my process. They'll say, they'll write to me and say, this is what your work has helped me with, but they can't say who they are due to the families. And we need to be participating. We need to be part of the solution in people being able to speak up. Okay, so this is the infographic that you will see in the free library shortly. You may not be able to read it on your screen unless you're on a computer right now, so we'll go through it step by step. Okay, and this is for men, it was focused, when I did the research, it was focused specifically on what men need to know, but we as women need to know it as well, so that we can help them know that they are allowed to have change as well. So for the first one, you are allowed to seek help. Men have this great society, generational pressure that they have to be the be-all and end-all and the solution. And yet we are actually neurologically wired for community, all of us, okay? So they need to know that they are allowed to seek help outside of what they've known, all right? Because it's a big unknown when you step out into the world looking for help with mental health. And give themselves permission to cry. This is another one that society says, it's so subtly and usually non-verbally that men aren't allowed to cry. All right. And we can also have that in our families, that, you know, any showing any emotion is not the done thing. So they've got to give themselves permission to show their emotions. Give yourself permission to be vulnerable. Vulnerable means that I'm with people who are safe for me to show all the different parts of me, not just the good bits. All right. And as somebody, one of my friends who went into a relationship recently, it's not just showing somebody all the bad bits either. Okay. They're no longer in that relationship. You do not need to suck it up. How many men do you know that have been wired in they have to suck it up? They have to sort it out, all right? You do not need to suck it up. You need to seek help, because you don't know what you don't know until you seek help and start learning what you didn't know. You do not need to fix or change other people's circumstances. So you just have to focus on you, your immediate family, as in, you know, partner, spouse, kids. That's it. Other people have got to learn to sort their own stuff out. And I've seen this repeatedly with men, by the way, that they seemingly believe that they have to keep sorting other people's stuff out. All right. Ask other people for help. Self-reliance is outdated. All right, get help, reach out. It's hard, but one step, even if it's just going down the hardware shop and asking for help with something, it's always a learning process that once I start speaking up and once I start asking for help, I can ask for more and more and more to get where I want to go. All right. Change the script you were raised with where it doesn't work. Too often in families we're taught that we have to honour our father and mother. The truth is, honour the good stuff, throw the rest out, and then carve your own path. All right. We have to be willing to listen to the script in our head so that we know how to change it. Choose connection over isolation. We're wired for connection. Don't isolate. If you find yourself isolating, then it's time to reach out for help, even if it's on an app and you want to reach out for help. Do that, right? It's a starting point. It doesn't have to be the end point, but it's a starting point for you, all right? Turning off your emotional valves creates a backfire, literally. So if you turn off and shut down, then it's going to backfire on you in some way, whether it's, as the science now knows, our biology, all right, that gets impacted, and you don't want to be unhealthy, and you don't want to lose those around you who care about you because you've shut down, all right? Shutting down is not a solution to what's happening internally for you. Psychoeducation will help you reframe your situation. So once we begin to, it's called psychoeducation, but a lot of it too, especially with complex PTSD, is neuroeducation. So what is my brain driving from my wiring, and then how do I go about reframing it, putting in place strategies and structure so that I can overcome the automatic responses from the brain level as well. Okay. Emotional fitness is paramount for healthy relationships. Now, when you go out on track, you train for it, okay? You train to be a winner. And with our relationships, we're in training all the time, especially when we've come out of toxic stress in our families, all right? So we need to be willing to train for our relationships as well. Training means learning, refining, growing, understanding things at increasingly deeper levels, and then putting it all into action to have a healthy outcome. Okay, that was just a quick one for this morning, and remember, you can download this, you can take it to your therapist, to your trauma coach, and you can begin to work on your one next step. Have a great day and keep smiling. Bye for now.